Okay, hello everyone. Okay, a very warm welcome to Blue3 Academy's exclusive Sec 2 webinar. Okay, your stream, your dream. Okay, where we're going to talk to you about the whole process, okay, of picking your own subject combination as you enter Sec 3. Okay, so I think there's quite a number of you all here. Okay, and we did invite the Sec 1s and the Sec 2s, right? So for the Sec 2s, this is a bit more concerning towards you because you'll be picking up your stream in about 4 months. Okay, you need to make a decision in about 4 months' time. And then for the sec ones who are here, right, okay, basically you have about 1 year and 4 months left. Okay, so this is just an idea for you, okay, as to what you experience in the coming year. Lah. Okay. Okay, for any questions that you have, you can just feel free to use the Q&A function. Okay, we will address it. Okay, if it's very easy to address, we'll address it during the whole talk itself. Okay, if not, then we'll address it towards the Q&A section, which is the last part of this talk. Okay. Okay, but before we start on today's topic, okay, let's introduce our hosts. Okay, and of course, it's just the two of us. Okay, so we have Shen Ming. Okay, Shen Ming can introduce yourself first.
Hey, hello, hi. Okay, I'm the secondary science HOD. Okay, my name is Teacher Xuan Ming. When I teach primary school, I go by another name. The students don't call me Teacher Xuan Ming, they call me Teacher Teddy. Okay, so I'm a secret agent in primary side. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, just a bit about my background. Okay, I was in Catholic High Primary and Catholic High School. So basically, I was in all boys school for 10 years. Right? Yeah. Um, but it was fun. It was fun. Okay, but afterwards, when I went Nanyang JC, you can imagine my shock, okay? Yeah. So yep, well, after I went Nanyang JC, which also another very good 2 years, afterwards managed to get into NUS. I studied communications and new media. Yeah, so mainly focus on marketing and communications and social media as well. Yeah. Okay, that's about me. That's all. Okay, I pass the Nick.
Okay, hi, I'm Teacher Nicholas. Okay, I'm the head of department for secondary school math. Okay, I was from Bukit Panjang Government High School. Okay, I think those of you who are not from the west side, you wouldn't know the existence of this school. I went to Pioneer JC, which now is not there anymore. It's called Jurong Pioneer JC. And then I went to NUS afterwards, which I did my degree in psychology. Okay, so in case you're wondering, how come the two endpoints are the same? Yes, that's where we met. Okay, we met in NUS. So actually, Shen Ming was my senior in NUS. Okay, okay. Let's not waste any more time. Okay, let's head on today. To today's agenda. Okay, today we have a few things to discuss. Okay, of course, Q&A and the FAQ is more for you all to ask questions. Okay, what we're going to really focus on is what is the subject analysis. So we're going to be talking a bit about the different maths. Okay, and also the sciences. Okay, pure science, combined science. Okay, we're also going to talk about some common misconceptions that you all might have. Okay, because I think a lot of you all may have talked to some of your seniors, and then your seniors tells you a lot of things. And then you're like, do I trust my senior more or do I seek a second opinion as to like my like for example your teachers who have actually been through it. Lah. Okay, so today we're gonna clear up some of these misconceptions. Okay, there'll be a mini activity time later on. Okay, and then yep, towards the end you can get to ask a few more questions. Okay. Okay. So I think most of you might be really asking, right? Okay, what's the purpose of coming to today's talk? Okay, it's really for us to give you something to take away. Okay, for example, what do I want to pick? Okay, after today's talk. Okay, or maybe just to gain a little bit more insight of what should I be expecting towards the end of towards the start of Sec 3. Because I can tell you from experience, Sec 1, Sec 2 is a very, very, very different experience from Sec 3 and Sec 4. Okay, so on the screen you can see a few different subject combinations. Okay, you can just take a look at it. Okay, you have your English, okay, your E-math, your mother tongue. Okay, and you realize that some of these subjects, right, are I would say every single combination has it. So those are compulsory subjects. So English, your mother tongue, your E-math, and your chemistry, and then one of these SS plus elective something humanities. Okay, and I think what we are trying to drive across today, right, is is this point, okay, of how do you decide what do you want to take? Okay, is it by interest? Okay, is it by what you do well in, or is it because your friends say so? That's why I follow my friends. Okay, and I hate that. Okay, but before I go on to that even, okay, I want to drive across this point. Okay, because at this point in time, most of you haven't taken your WA3 yet. Okay, so you still have that fighting chance, okay, because you might have not done well for WA1 or 2, okay, but you still have WA3, you still have end of year to really go and buck up. Okay, so I want to show you these numbers. Okay, just to show you, okay, what you can be expecting. Okay, just stay with me. Okay, imagine that you are student number one. Okay, and you have been, oh my God, you have been failing your WA1, WA2, WA3, okay, 12, 10, sorry, 12, 11, and 10 out of 30. And the percentage there basically just tells you how much percentage is being taken, okay, towards your final score. Okay, even if right now, okay, after you fail in WA1 through 3, you suddenly tell yourself, oh, I'm going to spend a lot of time studying, okay, I'm going to get A1 for end of year, and you did it, okay, you got 75 out of 100, which is not a very easy task, okay, but take a look at the average, it's 59.5, okay, and you all should know this grade, right, this grade is a C5, okay, and let me just bring your attention to the second student. Okay, this second student did very well consistently, WA1, WA2, WA3. Okay, some of you might be asking me, sure, are you sure that there's kind of, sorry, there's this kind of student? Okay, we have, okay, okay, students who do so well throughout the whole WAs. Okay, but then somehow, you're not very sure why, you decide to not do well for end of year and you get 63 out of 100. Okay, then you realize, oh, did I just mess up my entire Sec 2 results? But you realize that because you've been so consistent at the start, right, your average is still a 75.5, which is still technically an A1. So, okay, what am I trying to tell you here is this. If your WA1 through 3 is relatively stable, relatively strong, actually you don't really have to worry so much about end of year. Okay, you can have a little bit less pressure on yourself. Going to focus on those topics that you don't do so well, okay, usually in, and then you can still get an A1 at the end of it. Because at the end of the day, right, you just need a particular score for you to pick your subjects. Okay. Okay, next one. What happens if I'm a very consistent student? 26 out of 30, 27 out of 30, then maybe during WA3 you fell sick, okay, or you just couldn't understand that WA3 topics, and you got a 12 out of 30. Okay, but eventually you still managed to get an A1, get a 78 out of 100. Okay, your average is still not bad, right? It's still at 76%. So again, being very consistent throughout the whole WA1, WA2, okay, the earlier start of the year, it really gives you that cushion. Okay, and this is what I tell my class also. You really need to buy yourself some cushion to have a little bit less pressure towards the end of the year. And the last student, okay, and hopefully none of you are in this range yet, okay, is you have been doing okay for WA1, WA2, WA3. Okay, sometimes getting a B, sometimes getting a C, sometimes getting an A. And then at end of year, you get a C5. Then you realize that, oh, my average is like a 57%. It's not here, not there. Okay, why do I say not here, not there? Because a lot of times, okay, this 57% okay, determines whether you can take, for example, pure sciences, okay, or you can take A math, or you can take, or you can't take A math. Okay, so this score here is quite important, okay, for you when you choose your subject combination in the upcoming year. Okay, and I think there's another misconception here where a lot of you are thinking, oh, if 10 of my friends are all going into the same class because we are all going to pick the same subject, then I'm going to have a lot of fun in the next 2 to 3 years. Okay, that could be technically true, okay, because you know your friends. Okay, but you must remember that whatever decision that you make right now, okay, is going to change the path of your life, okay, for the next maybe 10 or 15 years. Okay, it sounds like a very, very big thing now, okay, but it really is true. Okay, so I'm going to show you something called a ripple effect. Okay, so I'm not sure how many of you all know this. Okay, if you take a look at the two images here, you will see this word that keeps coming up, which is called prerequisite. Okay, what does prerequisite mean? It basically means, okay, for example, if you want to go into CJC, okay, and you want to take a H2 math, okay, which is that section at the bottom left, okay, it says this, to take H2 math, you need to have a B3 for additional math. Okay, additional math is A math for those of you who are not very aware. Okay, and okay, think about it. If you don't get B3 for additional math, you are unable to take your H2 math. And if you are unable to take H2 math, okay, then what happens is, let's say you are very, very interested in becoming an aerospace engineer. Okay, and then you realize, oh no, the prerequisite is a H2 level pass in mathematics. Which means what? Which means if at Sec 2 you decide to not take A math, then it becomes a ripple effect because you cannot take H2 math in JC, and then afterwards you cannot take a course that you're interested in. Okay, so I think for most of you right now, okay, other than trying to focus on your results, okay, you might also want to start thinking, what do I actually want to do in the future? Okay, go and do a little bit of research, okay, and then ask yourself, oh, what do I need to get there? Okay, because a lot of times it's not just about following your friends, okay, or just taking your seniors' advice, or because triple science is very tough, that's why I don't take it. Okay, it's not about that. It's about what do you want to do in the future. Okay, and something else to take note is also this. Do I want to play to my strengths and my weaknesses? Do I want to avoid them? Okay, just because I don't think I can do well? Okay, or do I really want a well-balanced subject combination that could open up more paths? Okay, so this question goes back, okay, to whether or not you know what you want to do in the future. Okay, and of course we're going to help you with that later on towards the end of the talk lah. Okay, okay. So anyway, okay, just keep the questions coming as we go through the talk. Okay. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next portion, which is the subject analysis. Okay, so for myself, I'm going to be talking about the E-Math and A-Math at the Sec 3 and Sec 4 level. Okay, and then Teacher Sherman will be talking about pure biophysics chem, and then also what is combined science. Okay, for my side, okay, this is what you will experience throughout the 4 years of your life. Okay, Sec 1, Sec 2, okay, you are almost there. Okay, you are almost at the end of Sec 2. Okay, and then you get to choose. Do I just want to take E-Math? Okay, or do I just want to take A-Math? Okay, it really depends on your interest. But there are some schools, okay, and I think more and more schools are kind of trying to make sure that A-Math is not optional anymore. Okay, so if you happen to be from that school, okay, then too bad you must take A-Math. Okay, and I did a comparison, okay, or at least this is my own comparison of how difficult the maths are. So you can take a look, Sec 1, Sec 2, Sec 3, Sec 4 E, Sec 3, Sec 4 A math. Okay. Okay, so Sec 1, I would say is about a 3 out of 10. Not super difficult. Okay, I'm rating it a 3 because of the algebra portion. Okay, and those of you who have been through it, you kind of know if you don't get algebra, you basically cannot solve anything, right? And then when you go down to Sec 2, yes, the topics gets a little bit more difficult. Okay, but still not really tough yet. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to talk about E-Math first. Okay, when you get into Sec 3 E-Math, you realize, oh wow, suddenly the topics are so much harder to understand, so much more formulas to memorize, and so much more things to practice on. It becomes a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, and then some of you might be thinking, right, how come Sec 4 becomes easier? How come it becomes a 7 out of 10? Okay, because the Sec 4 E-Math questions are a little bit more logical than math. So even if you cannot really do math, at Sec 4, the topics are not so algebra heavy. Okay, so even if you're not that good at algebra, you might be able to still do quite well. Okay, but the problem is this, that Sec 3 A math is a 9.5 out of 10. Okay, I will elaborate a little bit further at the A math portion. Okay, and then you see another drop again at Sec 4 A math. Okay, so this is just my own comparison. Okay, some of you who are very good at math might feel, actually no, Sec 1 is a 1 out of 10, Sec 2 is a 1 out of 10. So then congrats, okay, you are basically going to do well. Okay, okay, we're going to talk about E-Math right now. Okay, so the main topics that's being focused on is algebra, geometry, measurements, stats, probability. Okay, focus on those relevant skills. Okay, I would personally think that the difficulty is an average of about a 7 out of 10. Okay, the time needed is also about a 7 out of 10. Okay, I would say that if your fundamentals are quite good at Sec 2, you don't really need to worry too much about your E-Math at Sec 3 and Sec 4. Okay, and how relevant is it to a JC? I would say it's relevant in some sense, as in your basics is relevant, but I would say that overall, not the most relevant math that you need for JC lah. Okay, and why is E-math difficult? Okay, number one, okay, a wide spread of topics. Okay, at the end of the 4 years, right, you're going to be doing a paper, or rather two papers, consisting of Sec 1, Sec 2, Sec 3, and Sec 4 topics. So if you go and add up all the topics together, it's about 35 to 40 topics, okay, depending on which textbook you are using, which is a lot of things to study for just one subject itself. So it's across all the 4 years. So those of you who are going to take your end of year for Sec 2, okay, just take note that most of the time, most schools will make sure that it is Sec 1 and Sec 2 topics. Okay. Then when it comes to Sec 4, you have to study Sec 1 through Sec 4 topics. And some of the lower topics, okay, are quite independent of each other. Okay, it basically means this. If I don't study that topic specifically, I will usually forget about it. Okay, and that's what is happening to a lot of your at Sec 2 already. Because when we go through the Sec 1 stuff, you realize, I don't really know my Sec 1 stuff already. Okay, it's not that you don't know, it's just that you have forgotten because you haven't revised it. Okay. The last one is this. A lot of real life applications, meaning I can put you any scenario under the sun, okay, and they expect you to know how to apply math to it. So these are the three main difficult areas of e-math. Okay, but I would say that e-math will be the least of your concern, okay, because there's another math that's upcoming. Okay, and some question types that you might see. Okay, so those of you who are in Sec 2, you realize, these questions looks a bit familiar. Haven't been done them before. Okay, you guys did. Okay, it's just that now we are adding more formulas. Okay, more tougher concepts into the same question. Okay, and then we are making one question a lot longer. So you can see on the right side, right, the graph question itself, 2 plus 3 plus 2, that's 7, plus another 6 marks, that's 13 marks. So one question is 13 marks. Okay, and is a lot of percentage of your overall score. Okay, so this is the E-math portion where everybody must take. Okay, so I'm not going to really go through so much on this. Okay, but the big boss at the end of the tunnel, right, is this. This is your A-math. Okay, and okay, you can take a look at the difficulty rating, the time needed, the relevance to JC. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that for A math, okay, it is very, very, very relevant to JC. If you want to take a H2 math or even a H1 math at a JC, you definitely must take your A math. Okay, the time needed for revision is a lot more than your E math, and the difficulty is also a lot higher. Okay, okay, and then some of you might be asking, right, why is A math so tough? Okay, because the concepts itself is very difficult to understand. Okay, if you don't practice, if you're not consistent in A math, you will almost definitely not do well. So let me give you an example. Okay, just in my Blue 3 class, right? Okay, I have a Sec 3 class this year. Okay, they were all A students. Okay, my lowest was an A2, a high A2, and then my highest was like a 90 plus. Okay, so they are all A scorers. WA1, the average of their A math papers was a 46%. Basically, on average, the entire class failed. Okay, and it's not because they are not smart enough or they're not hardworking enough. It's just that they got a shock because of how difficult the AMF papers are. Okay. But eventually when they are in WA2, then they manage to get an average of about a 74%, which is almost an A1 for everybody. So it really takes time for you to understand the topic, okay, and to understand that you need to be consistent throughout your however number of months. Okay. Okay. The second question on most of your minds is this. If I want to take H2 math in JC, do I need to take A math? Okay, I would say that the answer is a 97% yes. Okay, you must. There are ways to take H2 math going to JC without taking A math, but you will need to go through like a bridging course. Okay, and it's going to be a lot of work, okay, for you. So you don't want to have to squeeze 2 years of A math into maybe like 2 months. Okay, then you're going to find yourself struggling a lot even at the start of your JC. So just some question types that you will see in AMAth. Okay, you realize that the workings is a lot longer, okay, a lot more complicated, okay, things that you have never seen in your life before. Okay, on the left side, you have something called differentiation, which you will learn in Sec 4. And then on the right side, you will see certs, okay, which you will learn in Sec 3 for AMAth. Okay, the working is so much longer, okay, and there's so much more difficult concepts for you to understand. Okay, so I would say that if you want to take AMAth or if you are forced to take AMAth, you really, really need to get yourself ready to, take on a tougher math. So if you think that Sec 2 math is tough, then this will definitely be a big challenge. Okay. Okay. So again, keep the questions coming. Okay, I'm gonna pass the time now to Teacher Shen Ming to talk about the science portion.
Okay, yep. Hi. All right, so before I talk about the science stuff, just a quick picture for you to understand in general. If it's green or wriggly, okay, is related to biology. If it's smelly or very nice smell, high chance is chemistry. And if something doesn't work, it's always about physics. Okay, yeah. So thanks. Next. Right, so start with chemistry. In general, chemistry is definitely a compulsory subject that most students must take. In your field of chemistry, you need to study about interactions in the world we live in, especially about chemicals and how certain substance react with certain substance. It is one of the really central and core science subject in the Singapore education system. And FYI, it is compulsory if you want to take medicine. Okay, if you want to become a doctor, chemistry is compulsory. Okay, so chemistry in general requires strong scientific knowledge and conceptual application. Right, we ranked it a difficulty of 8. Okay, and the time needed is 8 as well because of the consistent effort that you need. The concepts you need to apply. To apply them, you need consistent practice. And the relevance to JC is actually quite high as well. Okay, it's around 8 upon 10. Okay, on the left is an example of a question, okay, whereby it's about oxidation and also the reactivity series. Okay, next. Okay, physics. Many of y'all, when y'all see physics, you'll be like, disgusting, right? Okay, so in general physics, even though it seems like anybody hate this subject, I'm pretty sure some of the seniors probably also tell you that they don't like this subject. Okay, but truth to be told, if you really truly try to be patient and understand this topic, it is not that difficult. Of course, when I say not that difficult, it means that your math foundation must be strong in the first place. Because definitely in physics, you have to sometimes play around with formulas and stuff like that. Okay, it is a concept and formula heavy subject, right? So you also need to know, even though you all can say that physics I don't like, okay, but actually there's many careers out there that is really related to physics. Okay, and the time needed for this in general, you can see we put it as a 6.10, largely because for physics, sometimes after you truly understand the question, you don't really need to spend too much time to revise. Okay? Because once you really understand, then you will know how it works and it will just become natural to you. All right. And the relevance to JC is 7.5 to 10 because what we have realized is when we were in university, there were quite a lot of courses out there that require physics. Okay, yeah. Okay, next. Okay, so now we can come to bio. Okay, so biology in general, everybody knows extensive syllabus to memorize. Okay, but somehow the O-level questions can be quite straightforward, but they require to really write a lot. Okay, and we highly recommend you not to take this together with geography and history because of the amount of memorization load that you need to take. Okay, if you have seniors who you know that they are doing bio with history, you know that usually when you look at them, they have panda eyes and stuff like that. You know why? Okay, and FYI, biology is not compulsory if let's say you want to become a doctor, but it is useful. Okay, it's useful but not compulsory. Chemistry is the compulsory one. So common question that people would like to ask is, oh, I want to be a doctor. Oh, I want to be a dentist. Do I need to take biology? The answer is no. Okay. If you want to study dentistry, medicine, and stuff like that, when they look at your prerequisite and your requirement, chemistry is the one they're looking for, right? Okay, and then there's an example of a question there whereby it's an enzyme. They are asking you to explain how come there's no reaction basically. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, so combined science is of course another option to taking pure sciences. Okay, and this is something that students will always try to they're a bit confused. They'll be like, hey, what's the difference between combined science and pure sciences, right? Okay, so to put it simply, combined science means you're taking two sciences and then they'll be treated as one subject. Okay, so the score from, for example, if I were to take physics and chemistry, the score of my chemistry will be 50%, and the score of my physics will be 50%, and they'll be combined together to give you the combined score. Okay, but of course, why is it called combined science? Is because of the rigor. The amount of content is also slightly lesser. Okay, as you can see in the slides over here, we say that the content in general is 20% less than the pure sciences, as some difficult topics were removed. Okay, and it's also evident that questions in combined science exams are largely straightforward. They are easy to score. Okay, so I will put it this way: if you can't score for combined science, the only reason why you can't score is because you are not hardworking enough. There's no reason why you can't score for combined science. Okay, it is actually quite straightforward, serious. So the difficulty wise, we put it as 5/10. Relevance to JC, we put it as a 5/10. Why? Because the moment you're taking combined science, there are actually many courses that you can't take anymore because those courses that are of a higher level, they require pure sciences, which combined science doesn't offer, right? And why do I put time taken as 7/10? Because to me, I feel that it is not very worth it. Think about this, you are actually studying for two subjects technically, okay? But this is considered one subject, even though it's considered one subject, you have to take double the time to go and revise because one is physics and one is chemistry. Okay, so many people will always ask, should I take combined? Should I take pure? Of course, later we will answer those questions at the back, but in general, just think of it this way. Combined science is really easy to score. It can guarantee you an A1 or A2 almost quite likely. Okay, however, the downside is that it is not very applicable when you go up to JC, even poly and even university. Okay. Yep, next. Okay, so next few slides, we will show you some of the common subject combination. I'm pretty sure most of your school definitely will also prepare a subject combination talk. Okay, so I'll keep this quite straightforward. First, what you need to understand is the words at the bottom of the slide, all right? We have English, your mother tongue, your math, and your combined humans, which is either your lead geography, history, combined with your social studies, okay? So these are, in general, they are compulsory. These four subjects are compulsory. So you already have four subjects compulsory. Some students take up to 9 subjects. How do they add up to 9 subjects? Very simple. They take triple science with 2 electives. Okay, so one example in this slide over here is this student who will take triple science and together with A math and a pure humanities. The humanities can be either pure literature, pure geography, or pure history. Okay, so this is one way to get nine subjects. Of course, this is not the one and only way, but this is the most common way. Okay, next. Okay, some schools offer 8 subjects. Okay, I also know that there are some schools who only offer 7 subjects. So depending on which this one is, we are talking about 8 subjects first. The next slide will be on 7 subjects, okay? So 8 subjects, let's look at the orange box first. So the orange box first is when the student still wants to take triple science because they really love science. They feel like they can score better in science compared to humanities, right? So triple science together with 1A math, this is a very common combination to take 8 subjects, right? But if sometimes students feel like, oh, I don't want to take bio because bio, there's so many things to memorize, maybe I take double science. And when I'm talking about double and triple science here, take note, we are referring to pure sciences. All these are not combined yet. Combined will be introduced later. So look at the green box now, the green color box. We have double science. You have a choice of either taking physics and chem or bio and chem. Okay, together with 1 pure humanities and also A math. Okay, and that combined with the 4 compulsory subject will make up your 8 subjects. Okay, next, thank you. Okay, for 7 subjects combination, okay, if you look at the orange box first, we have double science. Okay, same thing, double science, you can choose physics, chem, or biochem. Then you add on 1 A math, right? Another option, okay, which is the green color box. This is a bit more niche to every single school. Different schools have different recommendations, but this is the more common ones. So when you are doing combined, you can choose whether you want to combine physics and chem together or you want to combine bio and chem together. Okay, I know there are some schools out there who also offer combine the physics and bio together, but those schools are a bit more, you still have, but a bit more rare. Okay, then afterwards, after you have the combined science ready, you add on 1 A math and 1 pure humans. That will give you your 7 subjects. All right, but there's another route which is a bit more niche and more specialized, which is some students choose to take principle of accounting. Okay, principles of account, POA, right? And then they can accompany it with D&T, design and technology. They can do nutrition, food science, and they can also have a choice of doing computing. So if you are really, really interested in this kind of elective, you can check with your school if the school does offer. But one thing to note is most of the time, when you want to take D&T, NFS, and computing, usually they are under the 7 subjects combination. Most of the time, they are under the 7 subject combinations, and it is only offered if you are taking combined science. Okay, so you have to go and weigh. You wanting to take NFS, you wanting to take computing, is it really a need? Okay, because if you are doing that, then you have to take combined science. You have to go and weigh your options first. Okay. Okay, next slide. Thank you. Okay, so to help you understand everything very easily, we give you a few personas. Okay, I will describe first over here. Say hi to Jonathan. Okay, Jonathan is 16 years old. All right, he is a Sec 4 student. He has finished taken his O level and just got his results back. Okay, Jonathan is a proud student of Blue3 Academy. He's the epitome of a hardworking student. Okay, from early morning to late night study sessions, he's always at Starbucks. You will always find him at Starbucks. His dedication to excellence is impeccable. Okay, so there's in World A, Jonathan took 7 subjects. Okay, and the 7 subjects that he have taken based on the L1 R5 to enter JC, his aggregate score is 9. If you look at the yellow highlighted ones, English, E-Math, Chemistry, combined humans, physics, and A-Math, you add up to 9. Okay, but the reason why he's getting 9 is because you realize that his social study plus lit, which is compulsory, he has gotten it as an A4. Sorry, it should be B4. Yeah. Okay, he gotten it a B4. Right? So because it's a B4, it has already made his aggregate score higher, which is a 9. However, in another universe, Jonathan actually managed to take 8 subjects. He chose to take 8 subjects. And because the extra subject that he has taken is geography, another pure humanities. And fortunately, his geography, the pure geography, he got A1. Therefore, this A1 can be used to count for his aggregate score. And he can omit the combined humanities, which is a B4. And because of that, the yellow color scores, the highlighted ones, we add up, you will get aggregate score of 6. All right. So what I'm trying to show you all here is that sometimes really when you have more subjects, right, it gives you more room to play around with which subject you want to use to count for your L1 R5 score. And of course, you have to also understand, even though it seems pretty good in this situation, basically I improved by 3, when Jonathan take 8 subjects, he improved by 3, from 9 becomes 6. It sounds very good, it looks very good, right? But what you need to understand is behind the scene, of course, it means that Jonathan have one more subject he need to study. And geography, of course, is a heavy subject as well. Okay? Okay. Any questions about Jonathan? If not, we will move on to another student.
Okay, so maybe just a chip in here. Okay, if you have any questions you want to ask, feel free to ask it on a Q&A. Okay, so just now we have one question, so later on I'm going to address it towards the end. Okay, but we will move on with this first. Okay, so just drop your questions in the Q&A if you have any questions.
Okay, next. Okay, let me introduce our second student. Okay, we have Agnes. Okay, she's also 16 years old. She just finished O-level. She just got her result. Okay, Agnes, she's always joyful. Okay, she's a student of Blue3 Academy as well. She's a living version of Minnie Mouse. She really, really loves Minnie Mouse a lot. And she is also well known to be a last-minute miracle crammer when exams are coming. Okay, she's the kind last-minute study, 临时抱佛脚, the kind. Yeah, and sometimes script through, sometimes fail, sometimes do very well. Basically, it's unpredictable. Okay, so of course she does study before O levels, so this is the subject. This is the score that she gotten. Okay, so in this particular situation, Agnes, when she takes 7 subjects, this is a L1 R5. Her aggregate score totals up to 14. Okay, her A-Math didn't do very well, C5. Hi. Literature, okay, still okay. Okay, then the other compulsory subjects like 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so Agnes didn't put in enough effort for A-Math, so she gotten a C5, and that put up her aggregate score all the way up to 15. Sorry, 14. Okay, but in another world, okay, in the 8 subjects, when she taken one extra physics, it can be bio, okay, but in this case, Agnes took physics, okay, maybe physics, wow, okay, wow, I think I got more hope for physics, and Agnes actually studied for physics, because in this case, she got one more subject, and it's physics. Her physics got A1, and because of that, her aggregate score now become 10. Because she chose not to put A-Math inside the L1 R5, she took physics to put it in the L1 R5. Okay, this actually made her improve by 4 score. You must understand this 4 score can determine which JC you go to. Okay, yeah. Then what we are trying to show here with the example of Agnes is this. So if you only take 7 subjects, okay? Even though it really means that you have 1 less subject to study or 2 less subjects to study compared to your other friends, but what it also means that it is that you cannot afford to do poorly for any of them. To put it bluntly, you cannot screw up any of the subjects. Yep. Okay. So I hope these 2 personas will actually help you understand some of the choices you're going to make. They will definitely have some impact. Okay. Okay, we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so of course, right now, with all these so many combinations out there, which combination should you choose? Okay, in general, I will recommend you. There's only 2 methods. Honestly, there's only 2 methods. Either you do a top-down approach or a bottom-up approach. So some people want to do the top-down approach, which is you first identify what is your goal. Okay, then after that, you slowly work your way up. Okay, then the other one, the bottom up approach, which is first you want to know yourself better. Okay, you know that your future is in the palm of your hand. You want to slowly, based on your interest, and slowly explore. Okay, so different people have different preference. Okay, like for example, if you really like top-down approach, some of the questions that will really help you is first you need to ask yourself, okay, what are some of the jobs out there that I find very attractive? Okay, what can I foresee myself doing? If I envision myself doing this subject, what do I think that is a subject that's relevant to this? Okay, and also in the field of science, what am I interested in? Okay, so if you know the answer, then you slowly work backwards to see what do you need. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense for you. Okay, if you don't know, if you need me to repeat, I will repeat. But if nobody need me to repeat, I'll move on. Okay, bottom-up approach is a bit more different. Okay, bottom-up approach is you have to know yourself very well. What are your areas of interest? What's your passion? What do you like? Okay. What do you feel strongly about? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Okay. Are you good at writing reports? Are you good with formulas? What subjects can you score better? Which subjects are you confident that you can always score well? Okay. Which subjects do you find more interesting to study and learn? Okay. And from there, you will slowly move up and eventually find the course and the industry and the field that you really want. Okay, so that's the bottom-up approach, right? Okay, so I'm pretty sure if I were to ask any of you all here, oh, so what combination do you want to choose, right? Or what do you want to do in the future? You will just tell me, okay, teacher Shami, I don't know. Yeah. So I've prepared one activity, okay? It's for everyone to try, right? Okay, so basically I want you to chart out your post-secondary options, okay? And this is an activity I want everybody to go and do. Okay, so can I have maybe I give everybody like 1 minute, okay, to go and get some paper or rough paper. Okay, can go get paper. 1 minute. Okay, so I hope everybody got your paper. Okay, so over here we have this chart. We believe that by using this chart, you can actually list out your options, list out your thoughts, and then from then on, you can actually see what do you really want in clearer. All right. So this is just a quick activity for you to find out more about yourself. Okay, and how do you do this? Okay, first you based on your feeling right now, okay, would you prefer to go JC or Poly? What's your choice of your post-secondary institution? Okay, you can write that down at the top left-hand corner of the paper. Okay. Then the second question, of course, is to ask what kind of stream, what kind of course do you want to go? Do you want to go a science-focused course or arts-focused course? If you are going to Poly, what course do you want to go? Do you want to go to business? Okay. Do you want to go to um, in environmental engineering? Okay. So what course do you want? Okay, so please fill these two up first. Okay, this is not like a do or die situation. Okay, you can always change your answer later, but maybe just based on your first gut feeling. Okay, what do you want to write it down? Okay, so after you're done with that, okay, we go down to our first choice. Okay, first choice, is there any industry that you're quite interested in? Is there any occupation that you're interested in? In this particular case example, okay, teacher Nicholas actually secretly he want to be a perfumer. He want to create perfume. Okay, so to create perfume, okay, number one, So this industry is $1 billion making industry. You know, like all the Chanel, the Hugo Boss, right? All the LV perfume, all these costs, I don't know how much, and people are always buying them. So perfume industry really make money one, okay? But if you want to be in this industry, what are some subjects that you must have? Okay, chem, definitely. Chemicals. Okay, bio. Okay, then in this case, math then don't need already lah, I think. Okay, but maybe need to a certain extent. Right. So in this particular case, since you know that chem and bio you have to take, right? Okay, one possible choice of subject combination is okay, maybe since I know I have to take bio and chem, right? Maybe I'll pair it with history and I'll pair it with A math. Okay, of course you can change the history to literature. It's up to you. Okay. And then if this were to be your subject combination choice, how difficult do you think this combination will be? Upon 10. Is it going to be super difficult or you actually think it's going to be manageable? Okay, everybody's rating will be different, but this is your own benchmark. Okay, so why am I putting this benchmark is because after you fill up your first choice, second choice, and third choice, right? You can at least compare ultimately within your first, second, and third choice, which one do you think is the most difficult? Which one do you think is the easiest? Okay, okay, so can we have a quick activity here? Okay. We have quite a lot of people here. We have around 20 to 30 plus participants. Can I have some of you all to share what industry are you interested in? Okay, can you all just type out on the chat? Okay, let's just share. Please share with me, okay? I'm very excited to know what you want to do in the future.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that they can type on the chats. Are you able to type on the chats?
I think can. Should be okay.
Oh, can. Oh, okay, nice. Okay, hi. Hi, Travis.
Hi, Travis. Thanks for volunteering. So which industry are you going?
Okay, if you want to be like a K-pop idol, you can put it in as well. I don't think there's a combination that you must take. You can take anything that you want. Okay, maybe like music, Yeah. Anyone wants to share? Forensic forensic agent.
Wow.
Forensic agent.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
what is forensic agent?
Wait, forensic scientist, my understanding of forensic agent is forensic scientist.
Oh, forensic scientist, sorry. Okay, can.
Forensic
Data
scientist
scientist.
in Singapore is super high paying. Okay,
Yes.
but I let you know first, for you to become a certified forensic scientist in Singapore, you have to study overseas before you can come back.
Yes. Correct.
Why? Because Singapore don't have enough case for you to study.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
but
see
this
data
this job is
scientist.
not easy. Okay, but good. Aim for it. Okay.
Yeah. Data
Data
scientist.
scientist, very important, super applicable nowadays. Okay, because data is really everywhere. Okay, if
Hmm.
you can know how to organize the data and study the trends and stuff like that, you can become very successful. All right. Finance, definitely. Wow, finance, Nick. Do you know last time I wanted to go into finance?
Okay, same.
Yeah,
Because of my econs, yeah.
correct,
Maybe
correct.
we share a bit about ourselves. So when I was in secondary school, I wanted to become a psychologist. Okay, which is why eventually I took psychology as my major. Yeah, not as I wouldn't say that it turned out very well. I mean, since I'm not a psychologist now. Okay, but yeah, okay, you never know. Okay, the things that you want to be may not be eventually what you are. Okay, what were you, Sherman? What do you want to be when you were in secondary school?
To tell you the truth, teacher Nicholas, I also wanted to be a psychologist.
Oh,
Okay, why? Because right, at that point in time, my belief was a psychologist can read people's mind.
okay, that's like the first misconception that you were know that is wrong when you entered the
When
course.
when my bubble was burst, okay, I told myself, okay, I'm not gonna be a psychologist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but I from young, I knew I wanted to be an actor.
Mm,
Last time I went for a MediaCorp
MediaCorp. Yeah,
audition, it's a group audition, and I failed so badly that I just cried on the spot. But it's okay.
nice.
At least I'm doing what I like now.
Someone policy maker. Oh, wow. Want to change. I'm assuming it's Singapore, right? Like you want to be a policy maker in Singapore. Okay, very good. It's gonna make a lot of change to
Mm.
Singapore. Okay.
Anyway, it is normal if you
Mm.
not very
Don't
sure
know.
what you want. Okay, but sometimes even though you are not sure what you want, what I would like to encourage is the kind of attitude to be a bit wow. Okay. Anyway, all this is hypothetical, right? So just don't be afraid to try to dream big and think big. Okay. Yeah. Yep. So this is a activity for you to understand yourself better. And for information, if you were to do this, and then after that you can show your parents, then your parents will also know what you want to do. Okay? Because I'm pretty sure right now, most of the times, sometimes y'all don't focus a lot, don't work on your parent-student relationship, right? Your relationship with your parents may not be the best. Okay. Sometimes your parents ask you, what you want to do? Oh, just say I don't know. Very easy, right? Okay. So do this form, you write out already. If you like to, you can show your parents. Okay, Teacher Nick, I think we can go on to the next one. Okay, so before we end off, wait. Before you end off, I need to remove the annotation. Wait, how do I remove the annotation? Declare, clear all drawings.
Clear already. I have to clear it.
Okay, already, okay. Then we can go to the next slide. Thanks. Okay, so we are about to end off. Okay, we will end off the FAQ, of course, but I want to give you all one quote. Okay, sometimes you make the right decision. Okay, but sometimes you can also make the decision right. In Singapore, everybody here is very blessed. I would say no matter which path you are going, there's always a path for you. Okay, there's no end of the world. Okay, but what's more importantly is once you have chosen that path, it is up to you to make your decision right. Okay, yeah. So I really like this quote a lot. Okay, so I hope you all understand this quote. Yeah, yeah, yes. This entire session will be recorded. So we'll put on YouTube so you can go and watch from there, okay? Okay, next slide.
Okay. Now we open the floor to Q&A. Okay. I think maybe you guys haven't had time to go and think about what questions you want. Okay. So we're just gonna open this Q&A for a while. Okay. Any questions you want to ask for subject combination? Okay. Feel free to just raise it up on the Q&A. If you think that it's a bit too uh as I was saying, troublesome, you can type it on the chat also. We will also entertain anything. Okay, any questions you have regarding subject combination, okay, more about your pure sciences, your combined sciences, okay, your A math and E math and like things like that. Okay, just throw everything out to us. Okay, because I think this is the time where you get to talk to people who have actually been through this whole streaming thing. Okay, and not just your seniors, okay, because sometimes your seniors are, I would say they're a bit maybe biased to get towards the things that they like and they don't like. So they'll tell things like, oh, triple science very hard, don't take. But then it is from their own experience. So you really don't really get a more objective view as to what to take. Okay, so I think now's a good time to go and raise up your questions. Okay. Okay, so I'll address one of the questions from Thomas earlier. Okay, he said, so of the pure so of pure science subjects, the must have recommendation is to have chem. Okay, sadly in Singapore's education system, you don't get to choose. Chemistry is a compulsory subject. So you can take chem bio, you can take chem physics, okay, but you cannot take physics and bio without taking chemistry. Yes, so chemistry is definitely you must take. Yes.
Okay, there's another question. The question is this: if my child cannot make it for pure sciences, is it no choice have to take combined science? The answer is yes. Okay. For you to take double science or even triple science, there are actually certain criteria. Like for example, in Sec 2, your science score must be above 70%. Different schools different, but from what I see, most of the time average is 70 or 65 is the average benchmark. Like for example, if you get below 65, then you will not be able to get double science. You have to no choice but to take combined science, which is why I really urge all the Sec 2 students right now to study hard so that you have more options rather than being fed with the option. Okay, I want you all to be able to select. I want you all to be able to choose. Don't let the choice choose you. You choose the choices, right? So please start studying now. Okay.
maybe just to add on, okay, regarding about how much you must get, right? Okay, so for science, maybe it's about 60, 65. Okay, for math, okay, E-math is a must. But for A-math, there are certain benchmarks for the different schools. So from my own experience, if you happen to be from Queensway, okay, Queensway, basically you need to get 60% overall. Okay, not just a final exam, right? So overall. Okay, so I used to have a student who didn't really do so well for WA1 and 2. And then she managed to pull up a score, getting A's and a good B for her end of year. But her overall was 59. So she tried to appeal because 60 was the benchmark, but she couldn't get into A-math. Okay, so I would say that for those of you who really, really want to take A-math, okay, you really, really must start working on your math right now. Because those of you who haven't been doing well for math, you might find it a bit difficult to pull your score up with the end of year. Because you must remember your end of year exam is Sec 1 and Sec 2 topics. So it's going to be probably the toughest math paper you have ever taken so far of your 2 years of career. So if you haven't been doing well, WA3 is your time to make sure that you do well. So at least you give yourself some sort of cushion. Okay. If you're from CHIJ to Bio, if I'm not wrong, it is 55% overall. Okay. And then of course there are some schools that are like compulsory lah, that you have to take A-math regardless. Okay, but more and more schools make sure that you take A-math. Yes.
Okay, there's one question, I mean, there's one statement, okay, I just want to address. Yes, it is true that some schools do not offer combined science. It is just like how there are some schools, only some schools offer triple science. Not all schools offer triple science. So every school is different. And what I want to say is, no matter what, okay, you actually you will have the choice. You can make choices if let's say your results are better. Okay. But if your results are not very good, your school will force you to take up a certain subject combination. Okay. And then when that situation comes, you basically have no choice but to take up the subject combination, and whatever plans you have most likely will be hindered lah. Okay, like what Nick mentioned in this webinar at the earlier stage, he mentioned about this ripple effect. Okay, and for parents who are here, please let your child know that honestly, it is not too late. Right now, it is still considered enough time, okay, for them to do something about it. Because for most school, right, their end of year exam is the majority. It takes up the majority of the percentage. Okay, so they can use this to actually pull up their grades. Okay, no matter whether they did badly for WA1, WA2, WA3, if they do well for this WA, the last EOY, they can actually pull their grades up. Yeah. Okay, and if they really need help, can always come to us. Okay, we are more than happy to help. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So I
since
think yeah, yeah. Go on, go
continue.
on. Sorry.
No, sorry. You go
Okay,
on.
yeah. So, okay, I think while you guys are thinking of your questions, if you still have any more, okay, since there isn't any active questions now, maybe we will address some of these questions. So these are some of the frequently asked questions, and then maybe we just answer a few here and there. Oh, sorry, Doris has a question. Teacher Ming can take this one for science.
Okay, sorry. So okay, the thing is this is chemistry. Usually schools they'll pair chemistry and physics together. Okay. And then they will also pair chemistry and bio together. Why is that the case? It's because, right, for people who want to do chemistry and physics together, is because these are the two most relevant sciences. Okay, I mean, it is a fact that chemistry and physics they are more relevant than biology. Okay, but chemistry is compulsory. Okay, so physics is the second most relevant one, which is why most schools recommend students to take up chemistry and physics. Okay, because of the relevance. Okay, however, there are also an option whereby students who are really interested in the medicine field, okay, they want to focus more on chemistry and biology, right? And there are also some students who really believe that they have more talent for bio because they are good at memorizing stuff, right? But for physics, sometimes, like I said, it involves formulas and some math foundation, right? So, of course, if a student feels that their math is really very weak, physics is a subject they may want to avoid, which is why they will go towards biology. Okay, so I'm not trying to say that chem and physics is definitely better than chem and biology. It really depends on your child's strength and weaknesses. Okay, um, if this is not a satisfactory response to your question, maybe you can share with me more in private, your child's strength and weakness. Then from there on, I can give you a better advice.
Okay. Maybe we should answer one or two of these questions on the screen, and then to see if we get any more questions lah. Okay. Uh, Shami, do you have any questions here you want to answer? One, maybe you can pick
Oh,
one.
okay.
Mm.
Maybe maybe I will answer the okay. So should I choose double science or triple science? Okay. So if you are asking this question, most likely you are a student with very good grades. Okay. Yep. Because to consider triple science means that your grades must be good, lah, right? So if you were to decide between double science and triple science, I can honestly tell you first, when you go to JC, right, it is not possible. Basically, it means it is impossible for you to do triple science still. What I'm trying to say here is when you go to JC, no matter what stream you go to, you are not allowed to take triple science. Meaning to say, no matter what, you have to narrow down your selection to only taking two sciences. Okay, so there are some students who will actually feel that, huh? So in secondary school, you forced me to take triple science, then you go JC, you ask me to only choose two. That's the truth, right? But that also means that because you took three sciences, when you go to JC, you have the choice to select which two you want to keep, right? But if you only take like physics and chem, then it means that when you go JC, you got no choice to take. You have to take physics and chem. Yeah, right. So this is one of the question I'm answering. Okay, maybe
Maybe I pick one question to answer also lah.
no,
Okay.
maybe can I ask you one question? This one
Oh,
I
sure,
never.
sure. Go ahead. No,
Mm,
which one?
sorry, it's not here, but I'm very curious
Oh,
about this.
it's not here. Oh, sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, do you think math or A math, which one is more relevant to society? Like, I mean, like
Math,
relevant
E-math
to
and
careers
A-math.
out there. Yeah.
Relevant to society. Yeah.
Relevant to outside jobs and careers.
Outside jobs. I would definitely say if you don't want to be a math teacher or you don't want to teach math, then I would say e-math is more related. Uh, Reason because it is more applicable to real life. Okay, because there are things like taxes, there is things like percentage. Okay, even how you split your bills when you go out to eat with your friends, right? How do you split GST? How do you split service charge? A lot of you have this misconception as to how it's being calculated. Yeah, so actually you all don't know that you all are losing money by the way that you're calculating. Okay, so actually there is a specific way to count GST and service charge. But anyway, I think because EMAF is more widespread, EMAF is more applicable. EMAF is you basically can see more EMAF than AMAF in your real life. Okay, so therefore I would think that if you someone that's not really, really strong in math, okay, and you decide, okay, actually, I don't want to go to a science stream anyway in JC, then I don't want to take A math. Then so be it. Yeah, but what will happen later on is this: when you eventually go to a JC, where you want to take H2 math, which is, I think, if I'm not wrong, one of the prerequisites for some of the more general courses like business. Okay, why? Because there's something called statistics, and this statistics, yes, is found in E-math, okay, but at the same time, it's also found in H2 math, which the prerequisite which I mentioned earlier is A math. And whatever you learn in JC is somewhat applicable to your stats in uni. Okay, no matter what subjects you take. For example, you take literature, there will be stats also. You take geography, there will be stats also. You take any humanities, there will also be stats. So even in psychology, okay, which is my major, we also have stats. So you cannot run away from it. Okay. Okay, there are two questions that is being asked. Okay, maybe I answer the math one first, then Shumi, you can answer
So
the
Nick,
science. Yeah.
how would you
Mm.
convince someone why they should take AMF?
Okay. So while we're answering Thomas's question, should we take AMF, right? Okay, I personally like to teach AMF more than EMF. Okay, and a lot of the very, very, very strong students who are in Sec 3, Sec 4, okay, it will always be this. Wow, A math so hard to pick up. Okay. But then by the time they're at the end of sec three, they'll tell me, oh, sure, I love A math. I don't like E math anymore. And then everybody starts failing E math and then getting A for A math. Okay. I think it's because A math is if you really put in the effort to go and practice, right, it's really quite interesting. And I think the sense of satisfactory of being able to solve an A math question versus E math question is like different. Okay, it's just like if I manage to make you understand the A-math concept, I will feel more proud than me making you understand the E-math topic. Because E-math is a bit more logical. Okay, you can kind of link the things together, even if your math is not very good. But for A-math, if your basic is not there, then you are equivalent to, oh my God, I cannot do anything. Okay, I'm speaking about this from experience. Okay, reason because I used to be a student, okay, who failed Sec 3 A-math my whole entire Sec 3. Okay, also because I didn't study, okay, so the don't like me. But eventually I managed to kind of understand, and one of my teachers helped me, or rather enlighten me. And then afterwards I realized, oh, actually A-math is quite easy. Lah. Okay, and I would say easier to score at O levels compared to the E-math because of the bell curve. So honestly speaking, I would think that if you generally have any interest in math at all, A math is definitely something you want to pick, and it's quite enjoyable to learn. Okay, of course you go through that very tough process of learning it, but once you get it, okay, honestly, a lot of students prefer A math over E math. Okay, I have
On,
another question related to yeah, sorry.
on
Hmm.
this note, I want to say
Yeah.
I totally agree with teacher Nicholas because when I was in secondary school, right, my A math I always do better for my A math compared to my E math. And same for my O levels, my A math is better than my E math. I personally feel when you solve A math, right, A math questions are actually like puzzles. So
Yes.
it is more like a puzzle, it's like a game. When you manage to solve it, the sense of satisfaction you gain from solving this is really very high. Yeah. And that actually drives you to want to do more A math questions. Yeah. The
Correct.
satisfaction is actually greater in A math compared to E math. Mm.
Okay, I'm gonna answer this question from Jolene. Okay, she said, my math is not very strong, but A math is compulsory in my school. What should I do? Okay, so I think this question relates to a lot of students. Okay, so I mean, those students that I have from SCGS, you all know that your A math is compulsory also. Okay, and um, what should I do? So I think the first thing is you know that you cannot not take it, right? Okay, you have the option to drop it eventually at the end of Sec 3. Okay, but then my question to you will be, then if you don't even put in effort right from the start, then are you just going to drop it at the end of it? Okay, but of course there's a very long talk afterwards. But I think what you need to figure out is this: why is your math not very strong? Is it because you are not interested in the subject? Okay, is it because you don't like how it's being taught in school? Okay, or is it just because the way that it's being explained to you is not how you like it? Okay, so of course I'm not encouraging you to go out and go and find a tutor. Okay, of course if that helps you, then sure, go ahead. Okay, but I think what you need to figure out is this: if you don't do well for Sec 2 math, okay, most of the time, these students who don't do well for Sec 2 math, right, they are the ones that start getting like single digit in A math. So I think with this, maybe, so I'm going to assume that you're a Sec 2 student. Okay, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Within these next 4 months left, okay, I think what you should do is this. Go and figure out what do you not understand about math. What is the things that you always cannot figure out? Is it the logic about the topics that you're learning? Is it your foundations from algebra that you didn't really get to practice well in Sec 1? If then go and work on those areas. Okay, because a lot of my Sec 3 kids, right, who are not doing well in A math, what I tell them is this. It's not that you don't understand what you're doing. It's that you physically cannot execute the algebra portion of it because their algebra was not being done well in Sec 2 and Sec 1. And then they're struggling to even solve the very, very simple questions. So I mean you're not my student, so I don't really know you 100%, right? So I think I also need to know uh what what is the reason as to why you think you're not strong. Okay, because I have a few students who are not doing well in A math, but they have this very, very strong logical sense, and then actually they understand what they're doing, but they cannot do the algebra portion of it. Yeah, so I think you need to ask yourself why is that so, and what should you do? I think definitely go and seek help. Okay, go and find someone that you trust. Okay, be your teachers, your friends, or even a tutor if you really feel like there's need to. Yeah.
Okay, and on another note, parents who are in this webinar, I think there's something that you all have to know, which is nowadays the school. when they teach, right, is really very disruptive. Okay, like you all of y'all should know, like these few days, right, it is also HBL. Okay, one thing for sure is HBL. Do you really think that the students will learn a lot during HBL? Okay, we all know the truth, right? And there are so many HBLs out there whereby the schools, when they give HBL, they expect students to achieve a certain objective, but usually this objective is not being met because the students don't treat HBL very seriously. Okay, that's number one. And secondly, from what I hear, there are also many disruptions in class whereby there's always like changing of teacher and stuff like that. Okay, and what happens is when a child, usually when they say that they hate a certain subject, okay, there are a few common reasons. One of the common reasons is mostly because they don't understand the subject. And once they don't understand the subject, they start to have distaste towards this subject. The second most common reason is because they say that the teacher can't teach. Okay? And because of all these factors over here, the moment they start to feel that this subject is not worth studying, they will already stop putting in effort for the subject, and then this snowball effect will start coming. And at this point in time, before the Sec 2 streaming exam, then when they realize that, oh, my science is not there yet, oh, my math is not there yet, what should I do? My question is, at this point in time, sometimes I would honestly tell you, it's a bit late already, but there is still a chance. Okay, you really need to buck up. You need to revisit some of your Sec 1 foundation and Sec 2 foundations. Okay, or really need to seek help. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I think there was another question about what is considered as an okay grade. Okay, I kind of answered in the chat, but I think for you to be okay, I would say typically from my experience, anywhere from B3 and above is okay. But typically, if you're getting an A, you're getting a high A, then your transition to A math will be a lot better lah. I've seen B3 kids actually do much better than A1 kids before. Okay, but that is like one of the rare few. Okay, have I seen a C5 student suddenly getting A1 for A math? Sadly, no. Because if you're getting a C5, then it probably meant that you either don't like the subject, okay, you don't like your teacher, or you just don't understand what you're doing. So, if you want to, but of course, you getting A1 doesn't mean that you will get a good A math score, because I was an A1 student in Sec 2, and then my average score for A math in Sec 3 was like if I'm not wrong, it's like an E8. Yeah, average is an E8. It means I was like getting like 30 plus. Okay, the only in Sec 4 then I woke up my idea lah. Yeah. So for those of you who really don't like math right now, you need to go and find out what is the issue, and then find someone that you trust to go and solve this issue with you. Be it a teacher, be it your brother, your sister, or just any other friends that you have. Yep.
Okay, Nick. So I think we will stop for the FAQ.